Hey guys, so today we're going to do a little review for your final test, and I don't mean that it's a final, I just mean your last test that you are going to be having on Wednesday. So what I did is I just gave you a list of what you need to know because I know there's quite a few things in this unit that are a little bit tricky, so just wanted to narrow it down for you. So what you need to know first is whether or not a sample is biased or not, which is pretty easy. You need to be able to find the mean, the median, and the range of a set of data. You have to be able to analyze a box plot. You have to be able to compare two box plots, and you have to be able to make a dot plot. Okay, so that is as straightforward as it gets. These are the 5 things you need to know for the test. Okay, so we're going to go through a few of the questions, the review questions that are actually from the book. I just picked a few to that go along with the types of problems you have on your test. So first one is Molly. Molly uses the school directory to select at random 25 students from her school for a survey on which sports people like to watch on television. She calls the students and asks them, "Do you think basketball is the best sport to watch on television?" So first and foremost, did she survey a random sample or a biased sample of students at her school? So the sample that she selected was selected randomly. So she actually did use a random sample. The problem is with the question that she asked. Do you think basketball is the best sport to watch on television? That's going to lead people to think about basketball. So what you really want to ask in a situation like this to make it as accurate as possible, what's your favorite sport to watch? And that's it, right? So for the first one, Molly did survey a random sample. Okay, she randomly selected 25 kids from her school. However, the question she asked was biased. Okay. And the reason for that is because she worded it in a way that focuses on basketball, right? So someone who may have not had, maybe a favorite sport to watch, and they may have said, "Oh, I'm not really sure." If they, have the idea of basketball in their heads, they may choose basketball instead of something else. For our next example, we're going to look at two box plots, and we're going to be looking and comparing at them. This is something you have to be able to do for the test. Now, this in the textbook is already solved for us, so we're going to read through it quickly. These two box plots show the amounts donated to 2 charities at a fundraising drive. Compare the shapes, centers, and spreads of the box plot. So this is charity A up here. Remember that in general, when most of the box is further along in the number line, and that you can pretty much conclude that whatever that represents is more. So in this case, it's how much was donated. So you can pretty much conclude that for the most part, charity A had more donations. Now, that being said, there's a lot more that we look at. So let's take a look first at the shapes. What we can see is that the length of the boxes and the overall plot lengths are similar. But while the whiskers for charity A are similar in length, charity B has a very short whisker here and then a very long whisker. Okay, so that's what's different about them. What they were saying is that the lengths are similar. So like if I moved this over here, you would see charity B would only be a little bit longer than charity A. As far as the centers go, as you can see, center for charity B is down here at 20, and the center for charity A is all the way up here at 40. Okay, so the median for charity A is 40, and for charity B it's 20. Then when you look at the spread, we want to take a look at the interquartile range. So for charity A, we have our lower quartile is 32, and our upper quartile is 44. So the IQR, or the interquartile range, you subtract is about 12. And then for Charity B, we have 24 minus, this is about, let's see what they say, 14, approximately 10. Okay, so they're very close, but Charity A's is a little bit larger. So we can conclude that just by looking at the range from here, take a look at this, this is around like 9 or 10. And then this goes all the way up to 49 or 50. I guess that would be more like 50. Whereas Charity A varies only from 20 to 52. So Charity B varies much more. Okay, so that's just an example of what we can do. So we're going to take a look at this exercise with a dot plot, and we're going to compare the shapes, centers, and spreads of these. And then we're going to calculate the medians and the ranges. So these two dot plots show the number of hours that a group of students spends online each week and how many hours they spend reading. Compare the dot plots visually. So first we're going to look at the shape, okay? So neither of these are symmetric. Sorry, I can't hold my phone today. So the shapes, they are not symmetric. There is a cluster around 4 to 7 hours for time online, and around 0 to 2 for time reading, which sounds pretty accurate for a lot of kids these days. Although I know that there is quite a few of you in this class that like to read, which is wonderful. Now, as far as the center goes, you can't just see where the center is here, so you would have to see what the median is. Now, they already asked us for what the median is down here to actually calculate it, but you can take a guess here that it's probably going to be around 6 and 0 here, between 0 and 1. The time online center is around 6, and of course you don't have to guess, you can calculate it if you want. The time online center is around 6 hours, and time reading, stop that! My cats are just so fresh today. The time reading center is around 0. Which is a little sad in this case. Okay, as far as the spread goes, you can see time online ranges from 0 to 7, which is interesting. And time reading only ranges from 0 to 2. So, time online varies more. Okay? You can see that. If this 0 wasn't here, it would kind of change everything, and that's what we would call an outlier, right? All right, so now we're going to find the actual medians here. For medians, on a dot plot, remember, you can cross them off if you want. It generally works, but you can also list them out, but it's a little bit easier to do it this way. So I'll cross this off, cross this one off, until I get to a center. And it really at this point doesn't matter because I can see that it's going to be 6. Okay, so we knew, we kind of guessed it was going to be 6. So time online, okay, 6 hours. And time reading, as we predicted, was 0. Sad. Okay. Finally, we're going to calculate the ranges. So time online, the highest value is 7, the lowest is 0. So that's 7 minus 0, which is 7. And then the time reading would be, the highest value is 2 and the lowest value is 0. So that's 2 minus 0, which is 2. So like we said before, the time online definitely varies more. Okay, now let's take a peek at this question. We are going to find the mean. We are not going to do the mean absolute deviation or the difference of the means. I spared you on the test of doing all of that craziness. So you're just going to have to be able to find the mean. And if you were given a data set, you would also need to find the median and the range. So you have to be able to do that from either a dot plot or a regular set of data. Okay? Okay. So for this question, we're looking at the average time in minutes of a group of students that they spend studying and watching TV per school day. Okay. So on this day, it was 25 minutes studying, 0 minutes watching TV. Maybe there was a test that night, the next day. The next day was 30 minutes studying, 35 watching TV, and so on. Okay? So first we're going to find the mean. Not first. We're going to find the means of each set of data. Okay? So studying, we're going to go down here. Okay, so you're going to add all these up. 25 plus 30 plus 35 plus 45 plus 60 plus 60 plus 70 plus 75. And this is 2, 4, 6, 8 days. And we're going to divide it by 8. And we're going to get our mean, which is 50. So you get 400 up top divided by 8, and that gives you 50. Okay, so the mean for studying is 50 minutes. Okay. Then for watching TV, we're going to do the same. Okay, we're going to add them all up and then divide by 8. So we had 0, 35, 35, 45, 50, 50, 70, 75 divided by 8. On this one, I'll show you on the calculator so that you can see. In case you forgot, you just literally plug everything in. So 35 plus 35 plus 45 plus 50 plus 50 plus 70 plus 75 gives you 360. Then you divide by 8 and you get 45. Okay, so that's approximately 45 minutes for the mean for watching TV. And that's it. So like I said, I'm not going to make you guys do the mean absolute deviation or the difference of the means for this test. I spared you from doing all that work. So this is just the basics of what you need to know. So let me go back to the list. You've got to be able to tell me if a sample is biased or a question is biased. You have to be able to find the mean, the median, the range, analyze a box plot like we did, and compare two box plots, and then also make your own dot plot, which is super easy. We didn't go over that, but all you have to do is, you guys know what to do. You take your values and then you put little dots above them, right? Nice and easy. Okay, so that's all you need to know for the test. It's pretty short and sweet, and I think you guys will do great. Okay, have fun studying.